Welcome to back my channel Coin Worth Million. This channel is a special place where every video brings you new knowledge, entertainment, and exciting experiences. Here Coins Worth you will find informative content, engaging stories, and everything that sparks your curiosity. Our goal is to make every moment enjoyable, help you learn something new, and be a part of this growing family. So join us and start this wonderful journey today. The 1962 one-penny coin of Queen Elizabeth II stands as a fascinating artifact of mid-20th century British numismatics, encapsulating within its coppery surface the social, political, and economic transitions that characterized the early decades of Elizabeth II's reign. Struck by the royal mint in the traditional pre-decimal format, this coin belongs to the historic series of bronze pennies circulating widely across the United Kingdom and parts of the British Commonwealth before decimalization in 1971. The 1962 issue reflects the enduring legacy of Britain's penny system that had roots reaching back many centuries, aligning with the long chain of monarchic portraits that had adorned British currency since medieval times. Crafted from 95.5% copper, 3% tin, and 1.5% zinc, the 1962 penny possesses the familiar reddish-brown tone associated with bronze coinage, though depending on storage and circulation conditions it may appear darkened, chocolate brown, polished, or bearing hints of greenish patina, each color variation telling a small story about how the coin lived its life across decades of handling. Measuring 30.8 millimeters in diameter and weighing nearly 9.45 grams, this large, heavy penny was a substantial coin by modern standards, often remembered fondly by older generations for its size and satisfying weight, a stark contrast to modern lightweight currency. The obverse front features the first definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Mary Gillick, a design admired for its youthful and graceful depiction of the new monarch. Elizabeth wears a wreath of laurel leaves, a nod to classical portraiture symbolizing honor, dignity, and continuity with ancient tradition. Around the portrait runs the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina FD, translated as, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This abbreviated inscription, historically consistent with earlier British coinage, conveys the constitutional, religious, and cultural roles of the monarch. The lettering is sharply defined on higher grade, uncirculated examples, while on circulated pieces it often shows areas of smoothness or flattening as evidence of decades of use. Turning to the reverse, one finds the iconic figure of Britannia, a symbol that had appeared on British pennies for more than 300 years. She is seated facing right, holding a trident in her left hand while her right hand rests upon a circular shield emblazoned with the Union Jack. Behind her, a stylized lighthouse can be seen on the left horizon, and a ship appears on the right, suggesting Britain's maritime heritage, its naval strength, and its historical status as a global sea power. The inscription, "One penny," appears boldly above the figure, while the date 1962 is centered below. The spacing, positioning, and proportion of the design remained highly consistent throughout most of the Elizabeth II bronzed penny series. The reverse design was created by Leonard Charles Wyon, whose 19th-century artwork had endured remarkably through multiple monarchs, illustrating the continuity of British iconography even as the empire transformed. The detailing on Britannia, her flowing robes, her shield pattern, the lines of the trident, and the faint waves at her feet, provide opportunities for collectors to examine strike quality and wear. Grades. In many circulated coins, high points such as Britannia's knee, breastplate edge, and the top of the lighthouse are often the first to show signs of wear. Historically, the 1962 penny was minted during a period of global change. The early 1960s were marked by shifting international relations, post-war recovery, technological advancement, and the evolution of the British Commonwealth after the era of decolonization. Domestically, the coin circulated during the transformative years leading into Harold Macmillan's leadership, a time of modernization, consumer growth, and increasing urban development in the UK. Every exchange of the 1962 penny, whether used to purchase a newspaper, a loaf of bread, a bus token, or a school snack, represents the daily rhythms of life in the United Kingdom during this dynamic period. It circulated widely across markets, shops, transportation hubs, and industrial towns, absorbing fingerprints, friction, and the subtle imprints of millions of small personal stories. The coin's practical value at the time was part of a system of 240 pence equals £1, a complex but centuries-old monetary structure that would be replaced in 1971 by decimalization. When the decimal system was introduced on February 15, 1971, Decimal Day, the old penny ceased to be legal tender, marking the end of an era. However, many people saved these coins as souvenirs of the pre-decimal system, while collectors increasingly sought them for their historical significance rather than monetary value. From a numismatic perspective, the 1962 penny is not particularly rare, as millions were struck. However, high-grade uncirculated examples, especially brilliant uncirculated BU pieces or those preserved in original mint sets, are more desirable and can attract significant collector interest. Collectors often focus on the coin's luster, which ranges from deep, silky red to golden brown hues. The distinction between red, red-brown, and brown grades is crucial in determining value, with fully red examples being the most prized due to their rarity and superior preservation of original mint brilliance. Over time, impurities in the air and natural oxidation cause most bronze pennies to darken, so a well-preserved, original red 1962 penny indicates careful storage in controlled conditions. Certain varieties, such as minor die errors, misstrikes, clipped planchettes, or off-center strikes, can also attract collector attention. Although no major varieties for the 1962 penny are famously documented, small anomalies occasionally surface and may be of interest to specialists. Culturally, the 1962 penny carries sentimental value for many British citizens and those in countries once part of the British colonial sphere. It appears in old books, school memories, vintage vending machines, historical documentaries, and collectors' albums. Its design evokes nostalgia for an earlier era, one with different prices, lifestyles, and national identity. The figure of Britannia, before being removed from circulating coinage for decades, became a symbol not only of maritime strength but also of continuity and tradition. The portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II represents the optimism of the early years of her reign, embodying confidence and stability as Britain moved into the modern age. The penny also played a role in popular culture and daily habits. Children often collected pennies in piggy banks, charities gathered them for fundraisers, and they were used in countless games, magic tricks, and simple amusements across generations. In the world of study and historical interpretation, the 1962 penny provides insights into metallurgy, minting technology, economic history, the evolution of national symbols, and changing public attitudes toward currency. Its copper-based composition, for example, reflects earlier traditions of British coinage before modern alloys became standard. Examination under magnification reveals the precise craftsmanship of Royal Mint engravers and die makers. Even the wear patterns on circulated pieces can tell a story about how coins travel through society, how people use them, and how long they remained active before retirement. Today, while its monetary value is modest, the 1962 one penny remains a cherished collectible for beginners and experienced numismatists alike. It embodies a blend of artistry, history, symbolism, and cultural resonance, acting as a miniature time capsule from 1960s Britain. Whether kept in a display case, passed between collectors, or simply admired as a relic from a bygone monetary system, it preserves a moment in time, an era when Britain was redefining its place in the world, its monarchy was stepping into new visibility, and the familiar bronze penny served as both an everyday object and a silent witness to the unfolding story of the nation. Please like and subscribe to my channel.